Hello everyone, this is the second part of Firebase user registration, Firebase authentication app using the block pattern. Here we are creating an app where we can register our user with their email and password like this, a random email and a random password. And if we click on the sign up, there will be a loading indicator, and then if the sign up is successful, then we will be navigated to the home page, and also we can log out the user. So this is the app we are creating. In the previous video, we created the repository and two blocks, one for authentication and another one for registration. Now let's create another block for login. So for that, let's create a folder, login block. Create the login event. Login state, and of course login block. Now what is the event here? If you look at the login page, there is a login button and sign up now button. If you click on the sign up, this will navigate us to the sign up screen. So we don't need block here. This is a simple navigation code. So we'll consider this button where if you click, we'll be logged in, or if the user email password is correct, then we'll be logged in, or else there will be a failure. So there will be a single event, login button press. So first create the abstract class for the event. This will extend the equatable class. It's not mandatory, but should extend the equatable class. And then the login button pressed event. This will extend the login event class. And there will need email and password. Let's make it required. So for that, let's import meta.dart. Now we can make the field required. So this is the login event. Now time to create the login state. What are the probable state here? There will be, of course, an initial state, login initial state. Then this will take some time to authenticate user, and then by that time there will be a loading indicator here. So for that, there will be login loading state, and then the login could be success or failure. So two more states for the login, success and failure. So first create the abstract class, login state, which is gonna extend equatable. Now create the login initial state, So four probable states: initial, loading, success, and failure. So in the initial state, we don't need to handle any field. Same in the loading state. But if the login is successful, then you need to pass the Firebase user object to the home page. So for that, let's handle the Firebase user object here. Make it required. And if the login is failure, then we should show a message. So these are the probable four states of our login block. Now create the login block class. First import the block.dart file and then create the class. First mention the event and then state. We need to override two methods here, initial state and map event to state method. And again, if you have not watched my video on parsing JSON using the block pattern, I recommend that first. Now we have a dependency here on user repository, and then initialize it in the constructor. For simplicity, I am creating repository in every block and initializing that in the constructor. In another way, we can pass the user repository from the main to the down the tree using it required in every classes like login block in the UI classes. But for simplicity, I am initializing the user repository in the constructor itself. So now what is the initial state here? Initial state is this one, login initial state. And then we need to make it asynchronous. Now let's check the event first. If the event is login button pressed event, then we need to show first the loading indicator. So for that we have a state which is this one, login loading state. Yield this one, and now try to log in the user. So get the user if the user can log in. We need to await here as it is it will return a future result. User repository dot sign in user. We need email and password. Email can be got from the event, and same is the password. So we are getting user here. Now after the sign in, we need to yield the success state. So just yield it, login success state. Here you need to pass the user, And that's all about signing in an user. Now we need to put it in a try catch block, because of course there may be some error. So to handle those error, we are using this try catch block. Catch the error inside the catch block. If there is any error, then this should be in the catch block, and we're gonna yield that. Pass the error message. So, and again we are simply passing the toString method, but we can handle the errors more efficiently. We can show the appropriate message, but for simplicity I am just passing the e.toString. We can of course handle it more efficiently inside the repositories, but for now that's okay. So that's all about log in our user. So our login block is ready to use. Now what else we do need? If login is successful or user registration is successful, our user will be navigated to the home page. So we can so that we can log out the user from there. So we can have another block for home page. Of course we can put the logout system inside the auth block, but in our real world in our real app we may have to deal with many more items in the home page apart from the logout. So for that, let's create a separate block for the home page. So again click on the blocks folder and create another folder, home page block, and create events and state for the home page. And the home page block. So what will be in the home page event? Of course there will be a logout button, and later we can add many more things, and we can edit the event and block class here. So for now there will be simply a single button to log out our user. So let's create the event. So a single event. Now think about the states here. What are the possible states? Of course there will be an initial state. Let's create the state class. Oops. Use this class keyword. First state will be the home page initial. Or logout initial. And then another state for the logout success. And again, we can put this event in the auth block, but we are creating a separate homepage block, assuming that we'll have to do many more tasks in the homepage. So let's create a homepage block. Now override the method for equatable. So that's all in the state class. Now create the block class. So for that, let's first import the block.dart file and then create the class. Extend the block class event and state. Override the initial state and map event to state method. Now like the other blocks, we have a dependency on user repository. Initialize that repository. Homepage block. So return the initial state, homepage logout initial state, and make it asynchronous. And now check the event first. If event is log out button pressed event, then simply log out the user. So for that, user repository dot logout. There should be a method logout sign out, and then return, then yield the state, appropriate state. Here the state is logout success state. So that's all about the homepage block. So our repository is ready, our block classes are ready. We have 4 blocks, and now only part remaining is the UI part. So let's do it. Rather, I will create another video. That's all about in this video. I will create the UI parts in the next video. So till then, if you like this video, then do subscribe to my channel and let me know your thoughts. Of course, I'll put the source code in the source code link in the description text. So have a good day. Don't forget to watch the next part where we will implement the blocks in our UI. So have a good day.